So hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wood Heat Wednesday. A lot of you guys have been following the channel for a while. Know I'm a big fan of LogOX's hauler tool. It's a multi-function tool that really helps make processing firewood a lot easier, as well as save a lot of wear and tear on your back. This week we're going to take an early look at a project they've been working on called the WoodOx Sling. It's supposed to make things easier getting your firewood from your wood piles inside and to the stove. Let's get into it. So when it comes time to run a wood stove, I think one little trick of the trade is actually to bring some of your wood into the house a little bit before it ever ends up into the wood stove. Of course, wood heat is a very dry heat, so it's going to suck a little extra moisture out of that wood. And it's also going to allow that wood to warm up to room temperature, so you just have easier to light fires. However, it is not ideal or recommended to store a full winter's worth of wood. A lot of times it can degrade the air quality of your home. And especially in today's world where you see a lot of HEPA filters and people with a lot more allergies, ideally you want to keep a lot less wood than that. A lot of times they recommend somewhere around a week's worth of wood. So that's where I feel like a tote or a sling bag comes in really handy. I try to keep our existing bag really nice and accessible. Every time I'm outside, I'm already headed into the house, I might as well grab a load of wood. And that way I don't get to the end of the week and have this huge pile to refill. I just kind of continue to maintain it throughout the week. So let's talk a little bit about LogOX's Sling here. First off, about the company. Family-run business, American-made. Can't help but root for the underdog here. And I know their family heats with wood, so it's kind of eat your own dog food in some ways, and which is probably what drives some of the innovation and the passion to try to find better ways to get the job done while saving a little wear and tear on the body. The bag is made with a real nice, thick, heavy-duty canvas, something that just gives you the feeling it's going to last a long time. Unlike a lot of the other bags that we've been using over the last couple of years, a lot of times we end up actually using 2 bags of winter because they just don't hold up. They're built with a lot more thinner material. With this LogOX Sling, it just feels a lot more rugged, thicker material. It feels like it's going to be able to stand up to some abuse. If we look at the design of the bag, instead of more of a traditional bag where it folds up and you have 2 handles on one side, this has a shoulder strap with a pad that goes on one side, and then you have a place where you can slide your arm through. A nice big open strap, so if you have a big, thick, heavy jacket on, there's still plenty of room to be able to slide your arm through there. When you're setting this thing up, you're trying to get both things to sit right at the same height. You want to set your arm at a 90-degree angle and then adjust that shoulder strap so both sides hang evenly going across. So because of LogOX's little different of a design, I think it gives them 2 very distinct advantages. First off, when you look at a more traditional style bag, a lot of times you load all that wood in, you pull the handles together, kind of the big bulk of it's all hanging off the side. Then as you naturally carry this, you got your arm hanging straight down, plus you have the height of the handle, and that thing's swinging somewhere at your knee to shin level, and as you walk, you're trying to avoid that kind of bumping up against your leg, and it kind of puts you in a little bit of an off-center position. But because of their design, kind of almost being tucked under your arm, right up against your body, a lot of that weight's distributed on your hip, across that shoulder strap, and it's all tucked in really nice and tight and puts you at much more of a kind of a maneuverable type stance. The other thing I really like is the fact that it kind of frees up one hand. I took the exact same amount of wood that I was able to get into the LogOX Sling and put it into that more traditional bag. And this is a lot of times how I ended up carrying the bag into the house. I always try to just maximize the load that I'm carrying in, which then a lot of times it gets very difficult to pull both handles together with one hand, and I kind of find myself kind of doing a two-handed thing, and then it gets very difficult as you go in through doors. A lot of times I kind of do this dancing maneuver where I rest the bag up against my leg, I quickly turn the door handle, then quickly grab the two straps, where when I have the exact same amount of wood here in this example, I can just walk right on in through the door very easily. So another nice little touch is they added a light to the bag as well. Great if you're working around a dimly lit wood pile, or maybe you're walking back to the house in the dark. The other thing I really like about that light is it's easily swappable, so if it ends up getting damaged or something, it's not like it's like some plastic band or something built into the bag. It's very easily replaceable. We grabbed a couple of additional small LED flashlights that we had laying around, and those slid in just fine. One thing I was thinking was going to be an issue, but really wasn't. You notice like on a bag like this, a lot of times there's kind of a lip on the end, so any bark or dirt that falls off, it's all contained in there and it doesn't spill on the floor. Where the LogOX bag is more of like a straight edge on there, but I didn't notice any issues on the several trips that I made going in and out of the house. I don't know if it's because it's held right up against your arm, or it's because it's not getting swung around. I didn't notice any issues, and actually having that nice clean edge I found really nice when it came time to get it poured into a bucket. Where a bag like this, sometimes it's a little difficult to be able to kind of control the pour and get it exactly where you want it. I've definitely made mistakes where you end up dumping on the floor and then I have to sweep it up. I think my one other complaint with the bag is more actually when it comes time to store it. A bag like this, a lot of times you got two handles here, you can hang it on a nail, hang it on a door handle. It's very easily grabbable as you're going in and out. Where the LogOX bag doesn't have that. They got that one shoulder strap on one side, and then of course the place where you slide your arm on the other. So there's no real easy way to hang that bag up. And maybe if they add a little bit of Velcro or something to that bag just to make it hang up. Otherwise you got to get all your stuff out of there, and it's just something I'd like to see added to the bag. Other than that, absolutely love the bag. I think it does a great job distributing the weight across your shoulder here and kind of resting on your hip. I like how it frees up an additional arm. That light on there, really a nice touch. And I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to handle a lot more weight. I was carrying the exact same amount of weight around in this bag versus on that. I could easily carry and maneuver around a lot easier. I definitely think there's a lot of great advantages of LogOX's WoodOx Sling over our more traditional tote. Boy, that's a tongue twister there. If this is something you have interest in and would like to check out, we are getting a little early sneak peek at this, and it has not been brought to market yet. LogOX being a small family-run business, they're trying to raise funds to do that. Currently, right now, the LogOX how-tos being manufactured in Missouri, but guessing they'll have to work with another manufacturer to bring a fabric item to market. So the way they're trying to raise funds to do that is with a Kickstarter campaign. It will kick off today, the day that this video goes live, and run for 30 days. The very first 100 backers I've heard will get a very deep discounted rate on that. And if you back the campaign, you'll still be able to get it at a discounted rate than what it will retail for. So if you have interest in it, I would definitely recommend going over early and checking things out. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's Wood Heat Wednesday. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.